Bull Connor may be gone. But today, we witness with our own eyes police officers kneeling on the necks of black Americans. George Wallace may be gone, but we can witness our federal government sending agents to use tear gas and batons against peaceful demonstrators. We may no longer have to guess the number of jelly beans in a jar in order to cast a ballot. But even as we sit here, there are those in power who are doing their darndest to discourage people from voting by closing polling locations and targeting minorities and students with restrictive ID laws and attacking our voting rights with surgical precision, even undermining the Postal Service in the run-up to an election that's going to be dependent on mail-in ballots so people don't get sick. Now, I know this is a celebration of John's life. There are some who might say we shouldn't dwell on such things. But that's why I'm talking about it. John Lewis devoted his time on this earth fighting the very attacks on democracy and what's best in America that we're seeing circulate right now.
Amen. I'm Barry Gordon.
I'm Andre Coleman.
And this is NewsRap, live at 5. All right. Well,
here we are.
We just wanted to run that for you guys. I'm sure you've probably seen part of it over and over and over again. And, you know, it was when we decided to just do that for the cold open and try to do like the best 2 minutes. That's impossible. You have to watch the entire eulogy.
Yeah, that was amazing.
There were so many 2-minute clips that we could have taken, and you know, we wanted to run that because we just wanted to remind you what leadership looks like.
Yeah,
we wanted to remind you about how a president can communicate with his people,
and you know, the way he impacted that crowd. Just in that clip alone, really made me stop and think, imagine if he was running for the first time right now. Right. Imagine if he were the guy running to replace Trump.
Well, I think there was actually a
what
poll.
That moment would be.
There was a poll that showed that if Obama ran today, if we didn't have the 2-term limitation, which I've always been opposed to, by the way, but if we didn't have that, he would beat, I think he'd get 54% against Trump.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's actually,
of course, that may be what Biden gets.
Well, at this
could
point,
be what Biden gets, but
at this point, I think Biden's popular vote, if we stay the way we're headed, and I see nothing right now that's going to change, but it could. If Biden gets in the popular vote, it's going to be staggering, just in the popular vote. Electoral college, the last number I heard was somewhere around 350, 352, but who knows? Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah.
And
so
that's
I'm getting a little confused because I'm hearing the booth. So I don't know if we're supposed to be hearing the booth.
Try to talk around it. See
Yeah, absolutely. So
how you doing,
man? We're getting close to VP.
Yeah, let's talk VP.
I don't know if we're on the air. I think we might not be. Let me wait 1 sec. Josh, are we not on the air? Josh, are we not on the air?
Are we on?
Okay. Okay.
So we know you can't hear us.
Okay. We'll have to do all of that over again. No,
An audience
probably
of
will.
2.
Huh?
I said we're having an audience of 2 or 3.
Yeah. Well, I can talk about my kidney stone again. That'll bring the audio up real fast. Anyway,
Maybe we need a "We'll be right back" sign or something.
I know.
Yeah. You can still text us or call, text us.
Yes. Text.
Yeah.
Right.
Facebook us.
Facebook. Yeah, no, we're having fun. Okay. Yes. So we're talking, and if you mute Josh, that'd be great. Thank you. So yes, VP. So the last thing that I heard on MSNBC was that the rumor mill is that it's down to Harris, Rice, and Bass. And
okay, I'm happy.
That's what I'm hearing.
I'm happy to hear Harris's name is still in it. I'm a little disappointed to hear that Val Demings is not in it.
Yeah.
Because I do really like her. But I'll tell you what does not bode well for Harris is that when you start hearing new names come up, then you have to think that the front runner is in question now, or there are doubts about the front runner.
Right.
I think I'm going to say I'm still leaning towards Rice or Harris in this, but Bass is in there for a reason, obviously.
Yeah, I'm probably leaning toward Bass or Rice. Out of those two.
And it seemed like the mayor out of Atlanta really wanted
because you know how I feel about Kamala.
I know.
Just not a fan. Never have been. Never will be. Whenever I see her,
what do you mean you never will be? You
never will be.
It's impossible. It's impossible for her to move you towards her corner. Why?
Yeah, I think so.
Why? What has she done so bad that you can't?
I find her very inauthentic.
Well, what if she felt?
I don't believe her. I want to believe her. I don't. I believe Rice. I believe Bass. I believe Demings, but I don't believe Kamala. I find that Kamala actually reminds me a great deal of Hillary Clinton.
Oh, you're out of your mind.
Oh no, she really does. It's that kind of, let's really never be straightforward about what you believe. Let's kind of, try to reach everybody. Let's try to please everybody.
You just said about her not being authentic.
Yeah.
not the reach everybody and all that, but everything about her not being authentic.
Yeah.
That's what I get from Bernie Sanders. That's exactly what I get from Bernie. I know we're not talking about Bernie and he's not in the race.
No,
but
he's not.
That's what I get out of Bernie.
Well,
however,
it's the beholder. I mean, to me, I'm not a huge Bernie fan, but to me, he's authentic because he's represented the same thing for the last 40 years. So that makes him authentic.
No,
I don't know what Harris stands for. I've never known what Harris stands for. And I find that she is I don't know. I mean, I don't get anything out of her other than, she was a prosecutor and she knows how to cross-examine. And by the way, I think that every one of her cross-examinations failed. So I'm not a Harris fan. She has been on the same side of the fence longer than Elizabeth Warren. Elizabeth Warren is the one who jumped around, flopped around, and flip-flopped on which party and all this stuff. And suddenly she was progressive. I know she's not one of the top tier, she's not one of the top candidates anymore. Apparently not, yeah.
Well, that's what we hear. And we don't know how correct this is either.
No, we don't know.
But I'm going to tell you what I won't do here. I'm going to tell you what I won't do. Harris is my choice. That's what I'd like to see. If it's not Harris, it's not going to sour me on Joe Biden. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Yeah, no, I'm not doing that.
No, it can't. And if it is Harris, it's not going to sour me on Joe Biden either. It can't. I mean,
and you know what?
This election is not about the VP. This election is about beating Donald Trump.
Exactly.
And do I feel we have the best candidate to do that? No, I don't. And I've made that very clear from the beginning.
And I agree with you.
As long as he can win, he's the best candidate. That's
and
all I can say.
Right now, he can win. And you know what? I will ride that horse till he wins. After he wins, then we can start having that discussion about the way forward and what we need out of Joe, what we need out of the VP, these things. Harris, you know what? Maybe she is better suited for Attorney General, but as the VP, is what's going to be key here is I don't know that Joe's going to finish out the term. You have a guy who's already admitted he's just running to beat Trump.
I know.
So after he does that, now what? Does he do 2 years and he walks off? Does he do one term and says I'm done?
And
unless Trump comes back in 4 and runs again, which he would be eligible to do.
I have no idea what kind of a president Harris would be. I have no idea.
But you know what? I don't know how Rice would be. I don't know how
we know how she would be with foreign policy. We don't know how she would be with domestic policy.
We don't know how she would be with domestic.
Not at all. Bass has been pretty clear on where she stands on issues. I kind of like her clarity. I like her forthrightness.
Well, she's very blunt. She's very forward.
Very blunt.
I give her that.
She's very frank, and she's also very, very. She shows a lot of compassion. And a lot of genuine compassion, and so she might be a very good person to do this. And she's really risen up the ranks. I mean, she wasn't even there. No one was talking about her 3 weeks ago.
She wasn't even an afterthought.
And now it seems like she's on the short list. But she does have chops. She was, Speaker of the House in California, Speaker of the Assembly. And so she certainly has chops.
Next week.
But we will.
This time next week we'll know.
And in the meantime, we'll know. And in the meantime, let's go to the local brief.
Let's check it out.
Yeah.
This is your local news brief for Friday, July 1st, 2020. The city of Pasadena reports 1,943 confirmed coronavirus cases, a 134-case increase from last week. With 2 additional virus-related deaths, the death toll is now at 106. One of the confirmed cases in the city is President Trump's national security advisor and Pasadena resident, Robert O'Brien. O'Brien and Trump were last publicly seen together on July 10th in Florida. City officials have begun to post signs and hand out flyers educating residents on the effectiveness of face coverings in the fight against COVID-19. The signs and flyers come after complaints that the mandate requiring face coverings is being disregarded. The Los Angeles District Attorney's Office released a statement warning of a contact tracing scam. The statement explains that scammers are attempting to collect information on COVID-19 cases, asking for social security numbers, financial or other sensitive information, and money. More information on legitimate state contact tracing can be found at covid-19.ca.gov/contact-tracing. State Senator Anthony Portantino's State Bill 1299 passed the Assembly Housing and Community Development Committee. The bill would allow cities to turn abandoned retail sites into affordable and workforce housing. According to the bill, cities would receive grants from the state's Housing and Community Development Department as long as the converted sites are occupied by new housing. Portantino has also been working with other senators on the Economic Working Group to create a $100 billion economic stimulus plan. According to Portantino's official Senate page, the plan aims to raise $100 billion through a new tax voucher program and the acceleration of other existing revenue streams. NASA and the Jet Propulsion Laboratory, or JPL, are seeking citizen scientists. Citizen scientists are encouraged to help find disks of dust in space through an online program. Those who participate and are able to contribute significant insight will be credited on scientific papers. According to NASA's website, JPL manages their Deep Space Network, a worldwide system of antennas that communicates with interplanetary spacecraft. JPL built the recently launched rover Perseverance. Perseverance is acknowledged as being the most technologically advanced machinery ever sent to Mars. More information on becoming a citizen scientist for JPL and NASA can be found at science.nasa.gov/citizen science. Don't forget about the 2020 census. More information can be found at my2020census.gov.
We were just saying before we came back that that Stacey Abrams is still, would be a huge pick for me, given everything that she's been doing.
So if you were to choose a black woman, would that be your? And he's going to.
That would be her. That would be my vote.
That would be her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. The jury's still out for me on Val Demings because I keep seeing her reading her questions at hearings. So I don't know whether that means that she's written them down and just wants to be clear, or that her staff has written them down for her. So I just don't know.
I like Val.
She's not a lawyer, right? She's a police chief. So,
but she comes across to me as very authentic.
She does. Oh, I like her. I do like her. Yeah. And I like Susan Rice. I just don't know where she is on the spectrum. And for me, you got to be on the left. But let's talk a little bit about the local brief.
Okay.
And I guess let's talk about Anthony's stimulus bill and whether that can make a significant difference.
Oh man. A significant difference?
Yeah.
Significant is a big word right now, I think. I think it can make a difference, but I don't know how significant. We're taking a big hit. So I think even in people's pockets, I think we're at the point that if you're not working, $1,200, it's still $1,200. Nobody's giving it back, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's not like when this first started. We are not there if you haven't been working. $1,200 plus the $600 in unemployment. Go ahead.
The economy is contracted by a third.
Yeah. So
that's not small. So
when this first started, if you could get the $1,200 or more and the $600 out of employment, you could do something.
Mm-hmm.
Now the $600 is probably going away if the bill even goes through at all.
Right.
You know, it looks like the 600 runs out to, I think it ran out today or yesterday.
Yep.
The clock's ticking real fast on that. So that's what I'm saying. And we're at the time now when people really need a lot of help, Barry, a lot of help, because
that's for sure.
If at the beginning of this, if the plan was, okay, I've got to float rent for a couple of months and take advantage of the moratorium. Now imagine somebody who hasn't paid rent for almost 6 months. And when this ends, who's going to be able to afford to pay that back?
That's right.
You know, we've got to start looking at how people are going to recover from this. Just like cities, we talk about the city's recovery, we have to look at people's recovery. And I think that's what's going to be complicated and hard out of this. So I think they need to do something, but they may need to do a lot of something. But this is the last one, I don't see how that's we may need to do 2 more or 1 more. It's just how it is.
So have you looked at the Portantino bill, and is it just money in people's pockets, or is it more targeted?
It's money in people's pockets. I think it was 12 to, and then Trump gave a number today where I think he said 3,400, 12 to 3,400 or something like that, which that's more than it was last. For I think he said a family of 4, 3,400. And then, you know, they talked about help for businesses and small businesses, but I didn't get into it more than that, because how far did the thing get? You know, we never really got anywhere. The Dems wanted, you know, more, obviously, and
Right.
wanted to keep the 600 in unemployment around, which I think is that's really key right now.
But is the state legislation going to compensate for this? I mean, his
state
bill
legislation?
Yeah, well, Portantino's bill did get out of committee. So the question is, if it passes.
I don't know. And I haven't looked at it closely enough.
Okay.
I hope if it passes, it does. The problem is that since this started, there have been 3 to 4 alleged state bills. And at one point, Newsom said, hey, I'm going to give money to immigrants who didn't qualify for the money from the stimulus package. That never happened. So there's been talk about these things, but then it doesn't come through. So yeah. I didn't know you were talking about Portantino's bill. There,
yeah,
and I went on and on about Trump's bill. So sorry.
No, yeah. How are we feeling about Newsom these days?
Probably worse than before. He's just, you know what? He's not convincing me of anything. What is he doing? Things will get. He's.
Well, he did. I mean, we are in a partial shutdown again. I mean.
Yeah, but you know, last Friday, Newsom's beginning to remind me more and more of Trump. Last Friday, he did not mention the fatality number, which was a new single day record, and he completely purposely glossed over it in his speech. He didn't want to go there. And that's kind of a Trump, you know, that Trump pretending that it's just not happening thing, which doesn't help anybody. So this is where we are.
This is where we are. And we're still piling up cases and deaths, aren't we?
Yeah. And, you know, if we can't, if people are saying, let's not vote, the messages are still so mixed. People are saying, hey, reopen schools, but let's not vote. How does that make any sense? You know what I mean? I think it might be like this for a while more, because nobody seems to know what they're doing to dig us out of this. You know, the state or federal level. You know, how do we get out? What's the way forward? That's what I want to know. Seems like everybody is focusing on the way forward for businesses and cities, but nobody is looking at the worker and people. You know what I mean? What's your way forward? What's mine? Nobody's telling us that.
Well, but the logic of conservatives, though, has always been you focus on the business, and by focusing on the business, you're focusing on people. Keep the business alive, and your workers will go back to work. Whether it's safe or not, they'll go back to work. And look, I mean, in my industry, in the entertainment industry, we're having a major battle right now. With the studios, the union and the studios are having a major fight over safety. And we have still not come up with a set of protocols that management and labor agree on, because to us, safety is everything. And they're looking to speed up the process, get production going as fast as they can. And those two concepts are in tension. And that's true in virtually every industry.
You know, but back to that Republican plan, I wonder how Herman Cain feels about that.
Yeah, right. Well,
you know, safety versus, hey, let's just take care of the business and then we're taking care of the people, because, you know, hey, I should be able to campaign again. And he does a rally and look what happens.
Yeah.
So, you know, we didn't put safety first. I'm the opposite. Look, we got to start talking about taking care of people in this thing.
That's right.
The economy is shot. Stop pretending that it's going to recover overnight, because it's not.
What I would do is, I think you have to virtually say this year is gone.
I agree.
Start there. Yep. This year is gone. So
say January.
We have got to keep people alive.
Right.
That's our number one job. And that's what the government should be doing right now.
And say we are working towards, January 2021.
That's
right.
And
when we get there, you know, in November, December, we'll look at the numbers and we'll see where we are. But between now and then, we're not doing a fast rush to open up everything.
No.
Because you know, last time, imagine, a lot of restaurant places opened up, spent thousands of dollars, plexiglass and stuff like that. And then, hey, let's pull the rug out from under them. You got to close again. You got to close the indoor business again. Well, now they spent more money.
Yeah.
You know, so we can't.
And we have to help businesses do that. I think there's no question that we have to help businesses do that as well. So I think that we're wrapped. So we had fun, and we hope that you actually get to see this show and have fun along with us. But for now, that's it. I'm Barry Gordon.
Till next time, I'm Andre Coleman.
And this has been NewsRap. Not quite live at 5, but
at 5-ish.
At 5-ish and beyond. Take care, guys.
We'll see you later, everybody.
Yeah.
Bye.